We have, in fact, loaded onto the Howling Abyss, you guys. This is, once again, the Draft Labs Tournament Series. We are featuring Vae Victus taking over blue side, and the New Legends taking over red. Vae Victus took game 1, and now they're looking to take this set in a sweep. That timer has, in fact, reset. Both teams should be buying items now. A couple of blue builds on the board thus far. A Sheen for Ezreal. That's a good thing to note. That Sheen is definitely my favorite build coming out here. And we're not seeing the 3 blue builds start coming out again from the New Legends. You know, they're not necessarily in the position to be able to do that at this point. Ooh, a Catalyst coming out from the Zyra. That's an interesting one. And Commoner, he's able to make it into that bush first. He's going to get that long pounce on a Dax Reaper. He ends up actually pushing Commoner forward as well. They're not really able to get too much down from that. There's just a couple of trades here. Nothing too serious. With this kind of forward pressure that blue are applying here, Vae Victus are applying, they really want to take advantage of these first few waves. There goes the minion spawn. If they can hold this frontal position until those minions get here, they're going to be able to get that first little bit of damage down, and thus most likely hold on to getting that first little bit of damage down on the first 3, 4, maybe even 5 waves, and possibly get some early damage on this tower. It doesn't really matter if the first blood goes down throughout this kind of first little series of wave clearings. It just matters which team is pushing forward, which team is getting the money, and which team is losing that gold to the tower. Now, there's forward pressure coming out from Zulemo, and he's trying to make something happen, but he's getting punished out too hard for it. The range and the poke coming out from Vae Victus is a little bit too strong at that point. Frosted Cookie, nice combo to Elcon, actually ends up trading a lot of these things out. The heals from Zulemo are going to be super important as well. Having those heals is just going to be such a big tool here in the early game, especially if your team is down like this. You can see every time they move forward and want to clear out some sort of wave in a similar fashion they did in the last match, where they were, you know, using that squad with minimal wave clear and still end up getting waves cleared out. Vae Victus are forward and punishing very quickly. And that once again ties into the Alistar's heals, why they're going to be so important, that he's just spamming that button and putting levels into that skill. What's up, Peanut Butter? I notice you. I notice you. Elcon is doing a decent job of getting a lot of plants down into the back lines, but they're not really doing much. You know, Sergeant Pepper, he's had his shield available. Now he's looking a little bit low on mana, maybe even at this point, depending on what his actual mana pool is, but he should have enough to at least cast 1 spell. There goes a nice wind ball and a flash forward from Zulemo. He's going to knock back Zion Disc. That might be a first blood. It is going to be a first blood. Goes over to Ziggs. Now, Andrew the God, he's moving forward. He's looking to make something happen. He's unable to do so, but can disengage. And another first blood going easily, rather, in favor of Red Team this match. Red got the first blood and the second blood in the last, so I mean, who knows? Maybe it's just a recurring theme in this set that red team is always going to get those first bloods. We'll see in the next match if it ends up going. Nice knockback from Zulemo. I had no idea that was possible. I had absolutely no idea that was possible. If you start into the headbutt before LeBlanc begins her distortion, then you still knock her back even though she's not in that same position. Very, very interesting. And that's going to come heavily in handy for him. And that is a big thing to know. I guarantee you he's going to adapt his playstyle now that he's seen that. Very, very cool. Now the New Legends, they look like they're gaining a little bit of confidence back here. They want to move forward. They want to make something happen. They got the first blood. They're going to get those level 6s first. They just want to make sure these waves are cleared evenly so they can, in fact, get those level 6s. Now Zulemo, he moves forward. He just knocks 1 back, but Andrew the God gets taken down so quickly. The focus was great there from Vae Victus, and they snagged themselves an evener as the New Legends still have a gold lead here. The kills have now been even back up. 300 gold lead in favor of the New Legends. Zion Disc, he's looking to make something happen solo. He can do so. You can see, like I said, you guys, they just want to go forward, reposition themselves, get the damage off, and then get out. Like right away. It's just such a slippery team. The entirety of this blue team is so slippery. And then with the added combination of the counter engage coming out from Sgt. Pepper, the mass AoE crowd control that just lasts for a long time, it's going to be really helpful for him. He's going to be playing the disengaging role in this match for his team. But he also brings poke. That's what makes Galio so great on this map, is that he has the ability to do that, but he also brings good poke. Galio is one of the stronger champions in this map, as a matter of fact, and surprising to me that we don't see him more often. This is really the only team that plays him exclusively right now, is Vae Victus in the tournaments, in the regular season for the tournament series. Wow, big aggression from Zion Disc. He moves forward. He's going to get punished out for it quite quickly, but this Elcon moves in. Elcon ends up getting dropped down as well, so a lot of punishment coming down, and the focus can be so quickly made here. Nice, another big snipe from Zion Disc, an early snipe. That's the second of the set here for him. At around this time, as a matter of fact. The focus is so easy to make here for Vae Victus. I mean, they just have so many mobile champions. They can get themselves in position so quickly. It's so easy for them to all attack the same person just on a dime. That was a great ultimate from Dax to make sure that wave ended up getting clear, but this might be a faulty engage from Zalemo. It is. He ends up being dropped so quickly. He thought he'd be able to take down Zion Disc, but there was no follow-up, and I don't even believe he got down the combo that he was looking for. An interesting play from him. Ends up getting him taken down. Now, at least they've been able to defend this turret. They're still moving forward. There goes a good bit of vision, and that's actually going to lock down Sgt. Pepper for a decent bit of damage. There goes the ulti from Elcon. It isolates Frosted Cookie's minion, but not Frosted Cookie. Well played by Elcon, just forcing the enemy team away, relieving some of that pressure from yourself. It is a big ultimate to have on cooldown, but that was the perfect use for it. You split the enemy team up, make sure that you create a gap in between them and you, so that you can, you force their mobility spells away from them rather than towards you. Very, very important. There's that wave clearing ultimate coming out from Zion Disc again. He's moving forward. He gets a decent bit of damage onto the Zax, but he's actually ended up getting punished out for it fairly hard. Now Sgt. Pepper also taking a good bit of damage as well. Sgt. Pepper down into shutdown range. One more Ziggs Q and he might drop here. We are hitting that level 7, level 8 marker. You can see he just wants to suicide. He took too much damage there. He just wants to go down, and that was a good time for it. He ends up giving that money over to Andrew the God, though, which is going to be well spent by him, guaranteed. Nice work there as Lemo goes in, ends up snagging that synergy for Andrew the God. They pick up one kill early. Ignite's dropping on Commoner, but he's negating a lot of that with his barrier. Andrew the God able to get away without picking up tower aggro, but finally does as Commoner ends up moving back into tower range with the Ignite on him. Now Dax Reaper's caught out too far forward. A nice double engage by Zalemo is not going to be capitalized on as well, and that ends up as being, looks like a 2-for-1 trade overall here in favor of Vae Victus, as a matter of fact, but there was some good damage being dealt to that tower, so it wasn't a terrible trade here for the New Legends, because they have Elcon here, they have some great wave clear. That's not wave clear right there, that was just a disengage and an attempted little bit of crowd control. Enter the God doing a great job of weaving in between those enemy champions as well. There's some upfront aggression from Zion Disc. He does pick up some decent damage, and as Andrew the God is moving forward, he makes a weird play. Maybe another execution. Who knows what's going on with that one, you guys? I am not sure. And that one was a little bit more poorly timed than the last one was. Zion Disc, he dodges out the snare, as a matter of fact, and picks up a kill. In the back lines, or on the top side of the map, excuse me, onto Zyra there. Elcon goes down. There's the ulti from Ziggs. Ends up forcing out the passive from Frosted Cookie. Frosted Cookie just sends that minion straight forward. That's kind of an odd thing to do. Is everybody saw through that one. Ooh, Zalemo uses it to get a 3-man knockup. That's a double kill for Yasuo on the synergy. Great wombo combo there. Beautifully done. Zalemo uses the minion to actually get that one available to him. He has another headbutt available. Enter the God going to try to make something happen here. He gets exhausted, and the kill still goes over in favor of Dax. Nice series of kills there. I actually want to watch that one again. I really want to be able to determine whether or not it was on purpose that Zalemo went in and got the 3-man knockup onto Frosted Cookie. I mean, you can see Frosted Cookie taking a little bit of damage. The micro there from Frosted Cookie is good, and Frosted Cookie is, as a matter of fact, out of the vision range at that point. But as Frosted Cookie takes that one, oh, it was. I don't think he knew that it was that. He was going in. You can see he actually did it on a minion, so he was in fact trying to get it off of the clone there. He does. Turns out it's a 3-man ultimate, the 3-man knockup. Sergeant Pepper, now the only one remaining, as both Frosted Cookie and Commoner were dropped by Andrew the God. He's on the chase now. Zion Disc also left to run away. This is a great position for the new Legends to be in. Zalemo ends up deciding that he's going to focus down Sergeant Pepper. It was a good call on his part. Jax Reaper throws a nice bomb there as well, and Sergeant Pepper makes a questionable move there to move forward back in and not actually end up just keep on running away and dodging out the Ziggs follow-up. Well played by all the members from the new Legends, and Elcon actually makes the way back into the fight just in time to siege down this tower, and that's going to be the first tower down in favor of the new Legends. Interesting. I believe this is the same way it went last round as well. Very, very similar things going on here, except for most of the fights in this match, even in the early game, are mostly resulting in kills. Now Elcon is being aggressed on by Commoner, but instantaneously disengaged. He drops first. Frosted Cookie goes in. Zion Disc pops an ultimate. Still doesn't do too much here throughout this fight. Sergeant Pepper, he's looking for an ultimate for himself. He doesn't have the flash available. Instantly disengaged. Without the flash, he cannot get past Zalemo's headbutt, and nothing happens there. Just an easy 1-for-0 trade in favor of the new Legends. Well done by them. Really impressive stuff coming out from these guys so far. For a brand new team with a lot of brand new players, they're doing a wonderful job. Frosted Cookie moves forward, gets a little bit of damage onto Ziggs, and is followed up by Zion Disc, but is somehow able to get out of there, but takes so much damage that now the LeBlanc is fairly shut down at this point. There's Zalemo moving forward. Maybe wants to start something. It's pretty much a 3v3 at this point, but at least Frosted Cookie can attribute some damage to this fight. Zalemo just wants to be that forward tank soaking up damage. He's doing a good job of it as well, man. Such a great defense coming out here. Once again, the team that you would expect to get really bullied hard underneath the turret is not. They're actually defending it really, really well. This is similar defense from what we've seen from like Team Villain and Team Quicksilver. These teams plot some really great stuff. Now there's a flash forward into the Wombo combo. Galio follows up shortly after with his own ultimate. He gets the shutdown right off the bat, but now it's a 3 versus 4, but many members from the new Legends are healthy enough. Zalemo, he's plenty healthy. No members from Blue have fallen quite yet. Galio is so low right now, you guys. He is at like, we're talking like 12. No, he's back up to 150 as a matter of fact. There's another kill in favor of Zion Disc. Elcon ends up going down there, and that was just another interesting fight. Another one that we need to watch, man. So many replay-worthy fights here. So there's Zalemo going in forward. He gets that nice little single-man synergy coming out for Andrew the God, and gets it onto Zion Disc, which is really important. But Sergeant Pepper positions himself extremely well here to get that 3-man taunt off. It was going off in a really great position. You can see the Ziggs ultimate following up, hitting 3. That forces Sergeant Pepper to have to back off because he's not quite taking enough yet. But at this point, Andrew the God has already fallen. So the big mobility chaser coming out from the new Legends is already down. He can't really go through and clean up. That's what allows Sergeant Pepper to stay back and stay alive throughout this fight and ensure that it's a 1-for-0 trade in their favor. Not too much is going to happen here, except for Zion Disc picks himself up an easy solo kill onto Elcon in just a couple of seconds. You can see Elcon just really overestimating the engage potential coming out from Zion Disc. He just arcane shifts right in front of her face. Nice bomb from Dax as well. That's going to leave both Sergeant Pepper, all 3 champions, as a matter of fact, Zion Disc, Sergeant Pepper, and Commoner, extremely low. This is looking like it's going to shape out to be another one of those long games, you guys. Sergeant Pepper, he moves forward. I guess he was looking for some sort of execution there. Frosted Cookie is able to pick up a kill onto Alistair, who had to aggress on the Galio just to make sure he got downed, but that was kind of an odd play from Pepper. He didn't play that one like some of the other executions. You got to be smart and you got to be sneaky when you're making those executions. You know, try to get as deep as possible. Try to get at least as much damage down as you can. He just kind of walked right into that one, ended up going down to a tower hit. So at least he gave up the damage to, you know, maybe it was his plan. At least he gave up the gold to Alistair rather than Zyra, Ziggs, or Yasuo, who all 3 can definitely use that money. Alistair, he is the front man for his team. Enter the God takes a big spear there. Doesn't do as much damage as one would expect. Does he have any magic resist? No, he does not. And we're actually not even seeing the Luden's Echo coming out. I didn't see the Luden's Echo in the last game either. It's surprising. It's very surprising to me. What's up, Zoom? Thank you for the follow, my man. I appreciate that. This is the Draft Labs tournament series. I hope you're enjoying watching thus far. A little bit of a stale moment throughout the match, but there should be a big fight starting soon. We have just transitioned over into the mid-game. Beautiful block there by Enter the God on the Ezreal ultimate. He really wanted to get some good damage down there to kind of allow Sgt. Pepper to move forward. He does have the flash. He does not have the ultimate, as a matter of fact, and Zalemo's going to start the fight just before another nice wombo combo onto Zion Disc. Ends up getting taken him down very quickly. Now Enter the God left low. He falls next to LeBlanc, but Sgt. Pepper, he might not be able to handle too much damage. Alistair picks up that kill, and it's a 2-for-1 now in favor of the new Legends. Commoner moves forward, takes a bit of damage. I think he knew he was going to take that damage when he wanted to get that pounce on Elcon. Elcon forced to flash. Now Commoner, as the follow-up crowd control from Zalemo is coming quickly, he ends up getting dropped by Dax Reaper. Frosted Cookie now the only one left available. That's just a 3-for-1 rather, now in favor of the new Legends. Frosted Cookie threw a headbutt combo that was attempted there. Zalemo didn't end up actually getting it. Frosted Cookie is now in shutdown range, but Zion Disc is coming back with a vengeance. He wants to take this 1 versus 2 here. Almost a 2v2 with Frosted Cookie, but Frosted Cookie playing it safe in the back lines. Elcon caught too far forward once again. This is a recurring theme for this match, really underestimating the Ezreal's ability to reposition himself. Clutch, another clutch win ball from Enter the God actually ends up saving out a lot of damage here, because that Ezreal ultimate looked like it was going to end up hitting 3 members. The only 3 members on the map right now for, or on the screen rather, for the new Legends. They still have yet to have their turret being dropped, and it actually hasn't taken much damage here either. There isn't too much siege potential coming out from Vae Victus at this point. Sgt. Pepper, he takes a snare. Frosted Cookie ends up almost getting headbutted there. Not going to be the case, as Alistair actually just ends up headbutting the wall there. Elcon once again too far forward. Is forced out of the ultimate, gets dropped so quickly, but Frosted Cookie might be next. That is going to be the case. Enter the God now the only one locked down is Sgt. Pepper's ultimate. He gets dropped here. Now it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Vae Victus. They want to take this down again. A huge spear lands onto Dax Reaper. There is no follow-up for that crowd control from Zalemo. All it does is a little bit of damage and a little bit of disruption. At least it's Dax Reaper who's available. That ultimate was silly in my opinion. That one that Dax Reaper just threw out there, he needed that ultimate to defend his turret as this next siege is approaching. His allied members are not making their way back quite yet. There should be an ample little window of time for Vae Victus to siege here and get at least a bit of damage down. Dax Reaper now doesn't have his ultimate. Nice headbutt from Zalemo. He pops the ulti at a perfect time, blocks a lot of the damage coming out from the Ezreal ultimate, but is he taking too much now? My goodness, he's taking up a lot of damage. He stays alive, and another big defense from the new Legends. Now, that was an easy kill. Dax Reaper making a mistake to run right into that bottleneck against an Ezreal and a Nidalee. I mean, that's just, you're spelling death for yourself. You should be spending most of your time on the top side of this map. Wow, another big burst combo coming out from Frosted Cookie, dropping down Elcon. There's just things happening all the time through this match, man. I can't even follow it with my mouth. The game is moving faster than my tongue can. Now there's another beautiful counter engage somehow. I'm not sure where those knockups came from. I might have to watch that one again, you guys, but that's going to be another kill here in favor of Vae Victus. They've got these death timer stutter extremely well. Zalemo's the only one who hasn't dropped, but he might be next. He does go down. Now Dax Reaper, the only one left to defend. He gets a counter kill. So many things happening in the last few minutes, you guys. One big push. They ended up, Vae Victus ended up actually getting down this first tower. Luckily enough for them, they needed to even this one up, and they needed to do it right now as we are making that transition over into later stages of the mid game here. 16 minutes in, only got about 3.5 minutes left of the mid game before we transition into late, where this Alistair is going to become absolutely unkillable. The Galio is going to become very tanky here. He's finished up his locket, and the damage coming out from the Yasuo is also going to be huge. Once he finishes up whatever it is he's building next, it looks like it's going to be a, God, what is that going to build into? A Phantom Dancer, I believe? Do those items build into a Phantom Dancer? Maybe, I don't think so. Whatever it is that he's building, I'm not sure, I can't think of, oh, it's going to be a Bork, actually. It's going to be a Bork. I was just looking at his dagger there. Kind of an odd one, but he needs to get a little bit of health back, and he needs to have mobility. I don't think it's a bad thing for him to be able to get that mobility and slow down one of the enemy members. It's not a bad pickup for him here. Definitely not. Now still one big siege coming out from Vae Victus. They really want to take this tower down now, and they finally got themselves the items and the momentum they needed. But Zalemo, he's moving right in the back lines. He pops an early ultimate, Enter the God, able to negate that entire Ezreal ultimate once again, and Zalemo is not able to make anything happen off of his own. That Alistar ultimate is big. At least he's still tanking, at least he's still got health. Still just so much defense potential coming out here, and Zalemo is doing such a great job of staying forward, soaking up damage, and knocking away whoever he believes has the most siege potential coming out from Vae Victus. But now both of his summoner, his crowd control spells are down. Elcon, Enter the God, and Dax Reaper are forced onto the bottom side of the map. They're still trying to disengage. They're still trying to out-clear the enemy squad, and they're still doing so. This is an incredible defense coming from these guys, considering the poke pressure and how many spells are being hit onto them. They're taking a lot of harassment here. There's another big engage, comes out onto Commoner. He gets dropped so quickly, but the counter engage from Sergeant Pepper drops Enter the God. He's unable to take advantage of his items here thus far in the match. Zalemo now left low, and Dax Reaper and Elcon in the backlines forced to disengage. Somehow, another set of kills traded here. Ezreal and Alistar fall. Make that Galio falling here as well as Elcon picks up that kill. And a 2 for 3 now in favor of the New Legends. An incredible extended tension-filled siege there ends up going in the end in favor of the New Legends. They defended and they reacted and did a great job. Look at that disruption from Dax Reaper as well. Good timing on his fingers. My goodness. My goodness, my goodness. Ooh, that could be a big lockdown for Frosted Cookie. Doesn't take too much damage. What is Frosted Cookie building here? The Void Staff? I'm surprised how little damage that did from Zyra. She's got the Rod of Ages build here, so the damage coming out from her isn't quite as large, but it's helping her sustain against a lot of the burst damage. It's not a bad build for her. Definitely not at this point. I think they have the AP poker from Ziggs. If you build a Zyra, someone who can kind of like bait out more of the poke and can actually withstand it, while Ziggs stays even farther in the back lines, it's a good thing. And it also appeals to the idea for the New Legends to be able to make that swap and be the people engaging the fights rather than getting engaged on by the mobility of Vae Victus here. So I like this build. I like the start coming out from Elcon. I didn't like it when I first saw it at the beginning of the game because I thought it was going to leave them a little bit too much out of a deficit early, but they played the early game well, and now it's really coming in handy. Another instantaneous combo coming out from Enter the God. It's instantaneously countered by Sergeant Pepper, but he doesn't have quite the damage to be able to stop Yasuo. Now LeBlanc is down, and it's up to Yasuo for cleanup duty. He picks himself up a triple kill here. Now he's chasing Zion Disc. Zalemo is easily going to be able to possibly pick this one up. This needs to be a quadra for Enter the God, but it doesn't. Elcon picks up that kill, and I guarantee you Andrew is a little bit salty about that. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe Elcon needed that money. All the money shouldn't be going towards the Yasuo here, but it would have been exciting to see that quadra kill coming out from him. Well-played fight coming out from the New Legends. They are able to push the next tower down and get this inhibitor down as well. Frosted Cookie looking to make things happen. Should be able to pick up at least a little bit of gold here off of Elcon, but it looks like it's actually going to end up going to Galio. Well played there by Sergeant Pepper. Picks himself up that kill, and you can see he was typing and he was not happy about it. He did not expect that kill to go over in his favor. He just kind of threw it out instinctively, most likely. Frosted Cookie really should have had that gold, and that's actually a big mistake coming out from Sergeant Pepper in such a close game like this, especially with this team after the game was at its closest point going down by a little bit. You know, we're 21 minutes in. This is the late game. One inhibitor down isn't going to be the worst thing ever. You can see how quickly they burn through these super minions, but it is going to be very important. There's a Ziggs ultimate and another wombo combo coming out only onto one. It's Amplitude Enter the God to be able to clean up here. He pops his barrier and throws out a wind wall just before the Galio ult drops. Now he might be able to clean up here. He actually ends up getting dropped as Frosted Cookie had the shield on her. And Sergeant Pepper is still plenty healthy. He doesn't have his cooldowns available, and he's still plenty healthy and still going to be able to tank up a lot. So a little skirmish going over in favor of Vae Victus. They come back with the pressure on and catch Yasuo being overly aggressive. Well shielded by Sergeant Pepper as well. More big poke coming through. Frosted Cookie, the later you go, the more damage that LeBlanc is doing. Just drains Elcon from about 50 to 0 instantaneously. That is another turret now in favor of Vae Victus. They have these champions on death timers on stutter right now, and they might be able to take this inhibitor, but Zelemo pops his ultimate early. Sgt. Pepper's also taking a lot of damage. Zelemo is taking none. Andrew the God following up, but takes so much harassment as he's attempting to make something happen. He is able to get a kill onto Nidalee with a crit, but that's not evening things up here. It's still 2 for 1. Zelemo, he's trying to make something happen. Zig snags a kill onto Galio. Ezreal snags a kill onto Alistair. Now it's a 1 versus 2, but Frosted Cookie has the cooldowns and is able to pick up another kill. More stuttered death timers coming out here in favor of Vae Victus, and they're able to just kind of shove themselves into that next inhibitor. This is such an incredibly close game, you guys. 22 minutes, both inhibs down. Every team coming back tit for tat. Every single fight is just tit for tat. Each team are trading evenly throughout the entire match. Look at this, less than 100 gold difference throughout the entirety of this 23-minute match on the Howling Abyss. That is huge, and we barely ever see that. There's that Luden's Echo coming out from Nidalee here. I know it's such a great pick for her because even if you don't end up hitting the champion that you want to hit, say you miss and you hit a minion, or you miss and you hit Alistair, you're still going to get those little purple dots jumping around and dealing some damage. I like this item on Nidalee. I really do, simply considering her range. Plus, you can't get past the bonus damage that it brings and the heavy amount of AP as well. So this is an item that I don't necessarily think was necessary to bring onto the Howling Abyss, considering that poke was already something that was, you know, in need of being nerfed on this map. And now they kind of given the poke champions another utility. But what I can say is that it's a very cool item. I enjoy seeing those little purple bubbles burst everywhere. I'm going to start calling it Bubble Trouble. Sgt. Pepper, he's taking the forward position. He maybe wants to flash engage here. He has everything available for him. Both teams, as a matter of fact, have everything available. This next fight could decide a lot here. If it's in favor of Vae Victus and they get an ace, they could end the game. If it's in favor of the new legends, they might be able to push back in and just get themselves another secure forward momentum. But as of right now, the forward pressure is in favor of Vae Victus. If they can keep this up, get themselves some picks, then they might be able to make one big siege here and end the game. And take the set, as a matter of fact. You can see the little purple dots, man. Those things are so cool. Especially when they come off of a Nidalee Spear, because it's like it explodes into those purple dots. Now, Sgt. Pepper, he's locked down, but nobody tries to engage on him. Thank goodness. They're smarter than that. They know how to do that. That was a perfect opportunity for Sgt. Pepper to engage right there, but I think he knows that if he goes in for one big flash engage, there won't be too much follow-up from his squad. It won't be quite enough damage. Now, this is how a great fight could start here with Frosted Cookie going forward and deleting someone in the back lines. Now, Zion Disc, he gets caught out once again. He might end up going down first, but this is exactly the same thing that's happened for every single fight. Now, Andrew the God, he's down, but Zion Disc didn't end up falling. Frosted Cookie ends up going down next, and Zelemo is so healthy. Same goes for Elcon and Dax Reaper. Everybody on red is just so healthy at this point, and no one from blue can really get the damages down. Elcon, too tanky. Zelemo, too tanky. And Dax Reaper, too far away. Galio tried to sustain out of it. He wasn't able to, and he ends up getting taken down. Now it's a defense maneuver coming out here from Vae Victus, and they need to be able to make something happen. This team fight didn't end with as big of numbers and as big of a differential as either team need to be able to take this game. Both teams need an ace here to be able to win, but at least the new legends should be able to take an inhibitor, and once they get this inhibitor down, we know that their inhibitor is going to be respawning very soon. Nice shutdown there for Zelemo. That actually could end up being big, but he ends up getting taken down. Dax Reaper also taken low, and that's easy pickings for Frosted Cookie. That is, they stayed there for way too long, and he was way too far forward. Should have been watching that death timer, should have known that Frosted Cookie was going to be back, and should have known that Frosted Cookie could bridge that gap so quickly. My goodness. A big misplay there from Dax Reaper. Now, he probably wanted some sort of execution here, but like I said, we know that this inhibitor is going to be respawning really soon, you guys. It wasn't just taken down. Look at that spread. That's a really cool spread of seeds there. That's interesting. Oh, look at it. He gets the little bounces from the the purple dots as well. That's kind of incredible. Ooh, Luden's Echo also coming out from Zyra. He's able to, Elcon's able to spread out those bubble trouble. Spread out the bubble trouble as well. I need to think of some sort of some better nickname for that item rather than Bubble Trouble. I mean, it's a pretty good nickname. Maybe I'll stick with that for now until I think of something better. Look at that, a nice little set of 4 there, but all those things are doing at this point, considering how little damage Zyra actually ended up building, considering she took the early Rod of Ages, it's just healing Sergeant Pepper up, honestly. It's just healing him up. He just is able to throw down his shield onto himself and get a lot of health back. You can see no one's doing anything to him. He's actually sustaining from all this damage from the minions. He's doing a great job of staying forward on that Galio, pulling the aggro of the minions, pulling the aggro of the plants, getting himself back up to snuff. There's the inhibitor respawn, you guys. Now is the opportunity for the new Legends to be able to take this game, because they won't have to deal with super minions next time they make a push. There's a big engage. There's no follow-up from Andrew the God, though. That knockup's going to be down for a few seconds, but Zalemo, he's plenty tanky to make things happen. There's the splitting ultimate from Elcon. Nothing really coming from anything that's going on right now except for some good damage. You can see that the team health are leaning heavily in favor of the new Legends right now. That's what came from that beautiful double ultimate coming out. Zalemo knocks up. Yasuo follows up. He's not able to get many kills, and Nidalee actually ends up getting one on him. Ziggs is doing a good job in the backlines. We've seen a 1-for-1 trade so far. Commoner now moving forward, wanting to get some damage down. There's already too many members down for each team for them to be able to take any sort of objective against the remaining members of the enemy squad. So with even just one person down, the Galio down for Vae Victus, they're forced to tuck tail and run away, and they don't have any chance of taking this inhibitor. Great plays here by the new Legends, and a great defense by them as well. We've seen them be playing such a good defensive game here in this set. Zion Disc, he wants to get some sort of solo kill on a Dax Reaper. He's unable to do so. He knows there's no wind wall here available. And now these 3 members are pushing forward. This is a very, very intense-filled game, you guys. Or attention-filled game, excuse me. There's everything is on the line right now. Still, only a 400 gold lead in favor of the new Legends. Zalemo, he's moving forward. He doesn't have the mana now. He needs that. Yeah, he needed that relic. He needed that mana, and you know what? Even if the team healths are in favor of the new Legends, still, Galio's coming back. He does not have his ultimate, as a matter of fact. Andrew the God has his. There's the flash forward, the follow-up onto Zion Disc. He doesn't take too much damage. The ultimate also coming out from Elcon. Zion Disc tries to dodge it out. He's unable to do so. He falls. Now, this might be a big multi-kill here in favor of the new Legends. They're looking for more kills. Andrew the God, he's going to end up going down so quickly, though. He always gets bursted down to the backlines, but Sergeant Pepper takes a lot of damage while he's doing so. Now, it's still a 1-for-1 trade in the next skirmish as both members come back. Now there's another 1-for-1 trade. My good, oh, excuse me, no, it wasn't actually a trade kill there. Oh yes, there was. Zyra went down. My goodness, you guys, I am just like, my heart is pumping right now. So another 1-for-1. Everything is just going tit for tat. Sergeant Pepper, he's too low though. The health is still heavily in favor of red team at this point, but Frosted Cookie is able to snag that kill and should be able to 1v1 down Sergeant Pepper. In all honesty, he does do it. Ezreal's back up. He needs to, once again, not disrespect the ability for Ezreal to do that and take him down. My goodness, the ace going over in favor of Vae Victus after the new Legends ends up pushing them all the way back into their base. Oh, my goodness. This is an incredibly close game, you guys. 30 minutes in. Once again, going to be one of the longest games we've seen here in the tournament series. These guys are really extending our schedule tonight, man. We're going to be going late. Elcon moving forward, trying to set up some sort of early pick here, but they saw right through it, getting a huge spear. That is very unfortunate. Elcon might end up falling here. That's going to be the case. That's another 40-second cooldown, 45-second cooldown on a death timer, rather. For the new Legends, a mistake to be made this late in the game. Elcon not having the experience on this map to know that even if one person dies this late in the game, it puts their team at such a huge disadvantage. And now Vae Victus might be able to push in if they can get another kill, which wouldn't be that hard for them. They've got the cooldowns for it. They've got the damage for it. They've got the numbers for it. If they can get themselves another kill and get these death timers on stutter, then they're going to be in a good position. You can see there already is no defense for this inhibitor coming out from the new Legends. They don't have the Zyra there with the ultimate. They don't have much against this team right now. And Vae Victus could easily push forward for the win here. They just need to get themselves another kill before Zyra comes back. Now, they end up just moving back and giving up the inhibitor. Zyra is now back. They have some sort of defense potential. She's got herself some new items. She wants to make something big happen. 32 minutes in, you guys. One team fight. One team fight is going to decide this entire game. Not one little skirmish, one entire team fight. Zalemo, the biggest cow you've ever seen. He does have that elixir of iron. That's a good pickup for him. He doesn't want to be disengaged too hard by any sort of Galio ultimate or LeBlanc chains, but other than that, there isn't too much more crowd control coming out, so I like this pickup. He didn't need anything else besides those two. Now, that was a big ultimate. Yasuo wasn't there to follow up, though. Another a knockup that didn't end up being followed up upon. Zyra threw out her own ultimate, didn't get any knockups off of that, so Yasuo in the wrong place at the wrong time, unable to capitalize. That would have been a huge, huge advantage for them to start the fight like that. Now they're just going to force to sit back and disengage again with no Zyra ultimate. Sergeant Pepper, he's getting locked down, but look at how tanky he is. He's able to get health back so easily. Nice lockdown to Commoner there. I'm just waiting for something to happen, you guys. I gotta stop talking to make sure I'm ready for something to go down. Both teams are just staying so healthy. Both teams are really, really playing this safe. They just want to be able to take this game slowly, but Vae Victus in the advantageous position right here. There is no ultimate for Zyra. There's the knockup. Ends up actually going down onto Sergeant Pepper. That's not what he wanted. He gets disengaged, though, which is excellent for him. Now he's unable to ulti into the god. He flashes forward, ends up blocking in 3. Ziggs has fallen. Nidalee's fallen. Now Alistar has fallen. That's 2 for 1. Make that 2 for 2 as Galio ends up going down. Another 2 for 2 trade. Everything going evenly once again, and another big defense with just LeBlanc and Ezreal here. There is still potential for this game to end here. We have 30 seconds on both of those two members, but they need to make something happen. There's the engage. Zyra throws out her own ultimate, but Yasuo gets taken down so quickly. That's exactly what they needed to happen here. Elcon can't necessarily defend this too well, unless she does something like that and gets big damage onto Zion. Oh my god, you guys, 35 minutes in. This is going to be one of the longest matches we've ever had here in the Draft Labs Tournament Series. This is going to take a long time to upload to YouTube. It's going to take like 2 hours. I'm not excited for that moment. First turret does drop, but there's plenty of defense here to defend the next, and not enough health on Vae Victus's end. Ooh, nice kill for Zion Disc, and that's a really late kill as well. That's good for him. The reason it's good when it's late is that it's going to make it that much longer of a 3 versus 4 when his two members get back. It's going to make it that much longer for 3 versus 4 so that they can, kind of hold on to advantage for as long as possible. And with that death timer being so long, Zyra's going to be gone for, enough time for them to pick up a pick and maybe get themselves back into the same position, back into sieging, and maybe go, the same exact thing could happen, but if they're taking down one tower every time, then they're doing a good job and they're winning the game. Only problem is that Zion Disc and Frosted Cookie have both been the two who have been knocked up the most often here. Zion Disc, now he's left low, and the new legends are coming back with a lot of momentum. Vae Victus really need to respect this. They need to respect the heavy amount of the heavy health bars that are coming out, and the heavy new items that are coming out from the new legends here. There's a knockup, not going to be capitalized upon. Whoa, a huge spear drops, and I'm the Sergeant Pepper's able to pick up an early kill. That cues him to move forward and possibly be able to get an ultimate. He has no flash, but he has slows, and he has an ulti. He probably should have popped it right there. Zalemo now getting taken low as well. Sergeant Pepper, he's just going to tower dive this one. He wants to get some sort of ulti off. That was another good opportunity, but he's just going to back off. He's zoning members right now. There's the ultimate on the Zion Disc. Sergeant Pepper is ready for it. He's ready to disengage. Enter the God took not quite enough damage there, and he might be able to 1v1 some people down. He gets one down. It's traded for. The second tower drops here. Zalemo is low on health. Frosted Cookie has plenty. Commoner has plenty. Alistar falls, and this is going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen. Vae Victus picking up this set here. My goodness, a 36-minute game. It was always over on blue side. If I had to break that one down, I would say that game was played on blue side for far too long. There was not enough happening from the new legends throughout that game to actually bring it back to red side, or to blue side, excuse me. It was always being played in Red's base. The entire match, everything was always happening there. Huge props to the new Legends for actually being able to defend their turrets, for actually being able to make big things happen on their side, but it just never transitioned. They didn't have a composition that could actually transition the game from them being sieged upon to them sieging upon the other team. And that's really unfortunate because, in all honesty, they had a big lead going into that last, that last set of sieges coming out from Vae Victus, probably those last 7 minutes here, when Vae Victus were really just trying to shove in those turrets as hard as possible, and they were just kind of whittling down really, really slowly. Then a fight would start, and then it would go even. They were forced back, but then they'd make their way back into the enemy base and just whittle them down as slowly as possible. If none of that had happened, I believe this game easily could have gone over in favor of the new Legends here, but they allowed Vae Victus to consistently be in their base, to consistently be at least getting a couple auto attacks here, a couple auto attacks there down, and eventually taking down the Nexus here as they finally came out on top in a team fight. And you can see here, it was only 2 deaths. It was only 2 deaths that were required, maybe even just 1 that were required for Vae Victus to actually get this down. But throughout the last few team fights, it was always the new Legends who would get the first kill, and that's what cued Vae Victus to move on. But now they finally got the first kill, and they were actually able to push down that Nexus. My goodness, that was an incredibly insane game. Congratulations to Vae Victus for taking this set in a 2-0 sweep, and a big special thanks and a special shout out to the new Legends, our newest team here in the Draft Labs Tournament Series. They played a phenomenal game, and they did a wonderful, wonderful job. Thanks to you guys.